Imagine being more famous than any Hollywood star today, but never appearing on TV. Meet Greta Garbo, a real-life mystery. In 1929, at just 23, Garbo received her first Oscar nomination. She captivated millions during the Great Depression, when movie tickets were just 25 cents. Known for her privacy, Garbo retired suddenly in 1941, at age 35, despite having the world at her feet. Her films, like Camille and Grand Hotel, were box office hits, grossing millions. She never married or had children, but Garbo's personal life was often the subject of speculation. Reports differ on whether she was involved in secret relationships. Surprisingly, in 1954 she received an honorary Oscar, even though she was no longer acting. She lived mostly in New York, where she was occasionally spotted walking in Central Park, always wearing large sunglasses. To this day, Greta Garbo remains an icon of mystique and talent in film history. Her quiet life reminds us that sometimes, less is more. How did one woman become so unforgettable without speaking a word publicly? Before she was Garbo, she was Greta Lovisa Gustafsson, born on September 18, 1905, a shy girl from a struggling family in Stockholm. Growing up, her family had almost nothing. This created a deep, lifelong fear of being poor. Greta's passion for acting started early. Her professional journey officially began in 1922 when she joined the prestigious Royal Dramatic Theatre Academy to master her craft. At 15, she got her start in a movie called Peter the Tramp, but she wasn't a star yet. She was working part-time as a hat model in a department store just to pay the bills. But Greta had a secret weapon. She was learning how to use her whole body to show emotional truth. A famous director named Moritz Stiller eventually discovered her. He helped shape her into the mysterious figure we know today. Critics call her an unreal star, ranking her alongside legends like Marilyn Monroe. But Garbo was different. While other stars were relatable, Garbo was unknowable. It wasn't long before her mentor, Moritz Stiller, noticed something strange. He realized that when Greta looked tired or worn out, the audience thought she looked deeply in love or full of passion. This tired look became her trademark. But Greta wasn't always a smooth, cool star. As a kid, she hit her full height at age 12 and felt like a clumsy giant. She was awkward and shy, but Stiller saw that her unique movement was exactly what would make her a legend. Moritz Stiller was the one who came up with the name Garbo because he wanted something that sounded international and mysterious. By the time she arrived in Hollywood, just days before her 20th birthday, he felt she was ready for the world, but Hollywood wasn't impressed yet. When she stepped off the boat in 1925, she had funny hair, bad teeth, and the studio thought she was overweight. They didn't see a star, they saw a project. To become a legend, Greta had to submit to the brutal Hollywood routine. Unlike other stars who jumped from studio to studio, Garbo stayed loyal to one place: Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, MGM. She was their prototype, the model for what every other star should be. She went on a strict diet and a beauty regime that she would follow for the rest of her life. She was no longer just a person, she was a product of MGM Studios. However, at first, the studio bosses had no idea what to do with her. They knew she was exotic, but they didn't understand her magic. But they soon discovered that Greta was a rebel. Long before it was common, Garbo was pushing boundaries. She often wore men's clothes, and this made her an icon for women who wanted to be more than just a housewife. In her first two big movies, Torrent and The Temptress, the studio tried to force her into a box. They cast her as a Hispanic seductress, a fiery, lustful character. It was a strange fit for a shy girl from Sweden, but she played the part perfectly. Even though the studio misunderstood her vibe, the audience saw something they had never seen before. They didn't just see a girl playing a part, they saw a woman who looked like she was from another planet. There's a famous line from the movie Sunset Boulevard. "We didn't need dialogue, we had faces." And no face in history was more powerful than Greta Garbo's. Even when she was just a teenager, she looked like she had lived 1,000 lives. She had a look that made her seem older and wiser than everyone else. Her mentor once told a film studio, "You only get a face like that once every 100 years." He was right.
That I started working with Garbo, and I just didn't measure up. I wasn't good enough for her. I was, what, 25 years old? That's no excuse. I mean, one could be quite good at 25. But she was an absolute master of her trade. And she was a great figure. She had an enormous image to the public and to me.
She was all sharp angles and masculine energy, which was totally different from the soft, bubbly actresses of the time. As one of her biographers put it, she wasn't only a mystery, she was an anomaly, something that shouldn't exist, but did. She usually played tragic women who were haunted by life. Even when she played a normal role like a mother, the audience didn't buy it. She was simply too extraordinary to be seen doing everyday chores. But was the Garbo persona a mask that eventually trapped the woman underneath? The Garbo the world knew was a character she carefully built. She represented a kind of beauty that never gets old. It's been over 100 years since she was born, so why do we still care? It's because her beauty was different. She made people feel that life is short and love is often doomed.
Nobody was ever a competitor.
Is that
Not
true?
with Garbo, no.
Oh.
No. No. She's a unique person and nobody ever attempted to be a competitor.
Even today, her style is everywhere. Recently, major stores like Nordstrom launched a Greta Garbo collection. People still want to dress like her. But ironically, these modern clothes were missing the wild side of her real wardrobe. In her first Hollywood movie, Torrent, she wore incredible striped furs and harlequin outfits. And don't even get us started on her hats. She could wear a hat like nobody else. But while the stores try to sell us her style, they can't sell us her mystery. In the silent era, Greta's face was perfect, but her voice was a problem. Even her mentor once said, "Thank goodness she doesn't have to speak." Her voice was surprisingly high-pitched and didn't match her cool, deep look. MGM was terrified that the moment she opened her mouth, her career would be over. But when she finally spoke in the movie Anna Christie, the world was at a standstill. Her voice had become deep, thick, and husky. Instead of ruining her, it made her even more iconic. Garbo Talks became the most famous phrase in Hollywood. She was one of the few who successfully survived the jump from silent films to movies with sound. While filming Flesh and the Devil, Greta met her co-star, John Gilbert. They started a legendary affair that the tabloids loved, but Gilbert gave her something even better than romance, a new manager named Harry Eddington. With Eddington's help, Greta stopped being just a worker and became a boss. She knew the studio was making millions off her, so she went on strike. She demanded her pay jump from $600 a week to $5,000. She stayed home until MGM gave in. Not only did she get a massive raise, but she also got the power to choose her own directors and filming dates. She was one of the first women to truly own her career. Greta was also smart with her money. While other stars blew their cash on parties, she invested in real estate. It's rumored she eventually owned a large part of Rodeo Drive. By the time she retired, she was one of the richest women in the world. She didn't need Hollywood anymore. She had her own empire. But there was a dark side to this success. To make her feel more exclusive, her team told her to stop doing interviews and hide from the public. They told her it would make her a legendary mystery. It worked, but there was a secret Greta didn't know. Her manager, the man she trusted to protect her, was being paid on the side by the movie studio. Was her famous, mysterious personality her own choice, or was it a clever marketing trap set by the men in suits? She thought she was in control, but she may have been the studio's greatest project all along. Why was Greta Garbo so obsessed with privacy? When she first arrived, the studio treated her poorly. They forced her into photo shoots and controlled her every move. She felt so disrespected that once she became a superstar, she made a vow she would never cooperate with the press again. Her demand for privacy became iconic. On movie sets, she forced the crew to put up giant black screens around her so no one could watch her act. She couldn't stand being stared at. The press hated this, so they called her difficult and savage because she was powerful but refused to be seen.
Can I be of any assistance to you?
You might hold this for me.
Love to.
Correct me if I'm wrong. We are facing north, aren't we?
Facing north. Oh, no, I'd hate to commit myself without my compass.
Even her struggle with the English language became part of her story. She never fully mastered it, but she used her thick accent to create one of her most famous roles in the comedy 𝐀𝐨𝐥𝐿. In that movie, the posters didn't say Garbo talks, they said Garbo laughs.
I want to be alone. We want to be alone. But one day I shall find myself alone. I want to be alone. I shall probably be quite alone.
Behind the scenes, her life often mirrored her tragic movies. She had many relationships, but none seemed to satisfy her. Her famous line, "I want to be alone," wasn't just a movie quote, it was her reality. Garbo's closest bond was with a woman who claimed to be entranced by her from the very first moment they met. But was it just a friendship, or something more? One of the most important people in Greta's life was Mercedes de Acosta. Even at the height of her fame, Garbo stayed close to her. Mercedes described the actress as hauntingly beautiful, but their bond went much deeper than just looks. Because the two women were so close, these rumors followed Garbo too. To this day, the truth about their relationship remains a mystery, but it caused many people to wonder about the secret side of the world's most private star. Modern doctors who have studied her life believe she may have suffered from a severe social phobia. She wasn't being a diva, she was protecting herself from a world that wanted to consume her. She was willing to risk her entire career just to keep a piece of herself private. In a world today where everyone is constantly sharing their lives on camera, Garbo's silence is more powerful than ever. Here is the most shocking secret about Greta Garbo. In person, people said she was ordinary. There was nothing magical about her when she was just sitting in a room. But the moment the camera started rolling, a chemical reaction happened. It was like she transformed into a different being. Garbo didn't know she was becoming a legend when she walked away at age 35. She thought she was just going home. But by disappearing, she made her image permanent. She is one of the very few actors whose personality was so powerful that it defined the entire movie. You don't just watch a Garbo film for the story, you watch it to experience her. But fame had a dark side. After she retired, Greta was hunted. For 50 years, the paparazzi followed her every move. The sadness people loved in her movies turned into real-life stress and exhaustion. Her face, which once represented Hollywood glamour, became a symbol of how the media can trap a person. She went from being the most famous woman in the world to feeling like prey in her own city. But there is one final secret to the Greta Garbo mystery. For years, the world pictured her trapped in a dark apartment, a lonely person hiding from the sun. But according to her biographers, the truth was much more surprising. Greta Garbo wasn't a hermit. She was everywhere. While the newspapers called her a ghost or the Swedish Sphinx, Greta was living a very busy life in New York City. She went to dinner parties, she caught the latest movies, and she traveled out of town to visit friends. She would even drop in on neighbors just to say hello whenever the mood struck her. She wasn't hiding because she was sad. She was hiding because she was busy living. She didn't want to be the great Garbo anymore. She just wanted to be a woman running errands in comfortable clothes. The public couldn't wrap their heads around it. To them, if a movie star wasn't wearing diamonds and walking a red carpet, they would be lonely. Since she refused to play the part of a celebrity, the media invented a secret life for her. Because she retired so young and stayed hidden, the world never saw her grow old. In our minds, she stays frozen in time, forever young, forever sad, and forever perfect. She proved that in Hollywood, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all and let your face tell the story. Greta Garbo died in 1990, but she never truly left us. She remains the ultimate example of a star who set her own terms. She showed the world that you can be the most famous person on earth and still keep your soul.